Garuru Star is one deck that I've been extensively testing for Nationals. While some games you might draw everything you need, other times you might see a lot of bricks. Luckily, with mulligans, this can help you ship a hand into potentially a better one. As usual, I'll go over the card by card, the strengths, the weaknesses, and some combos. This deck runs 5 level 2s, 10 level 3s, 9 level 4s, 5 level 5s, 5 level 6s, 2 level 7s, 16 option cards, and 3 tamers. For your level 2s, I run 4 copies of the BT14-Sunomon and 1 copy of Starter Deck 16 Sunomon. Frankly, you could omit this 5th egg altogether, but sometimes it helps draw some important cards. However, BT6-Sunomon is where this egg can help facilitate your draws without having to attack. While true, Starter Deck 16 isn't once per turn, this is also completely dependent on your stack, going for multiple checks. For level 3s, the bottom line is simple: all Gabumons and 1 Gazimon. Gazimon ultimately acts as your 1 floodgate, and while you could do Psychmon, this card is a double-edged sword in the presence of Beelstarmon herself. With Gazimon, this floodgate can be revived with option cards like Nailbone, but your primary rookies come in the form of 4 copies of Starter Deck 16 Gabumon for its memory gain, and draw 1 trash 1 inheritable when attacking once per turn. There is of course the mandatory 1-0 from Starter Deck 6 that isn't once per turn that does the same thing inheritable wise. And the newest edition of Gabumon X from EX5 for its ability to search for 2 Digimon with Garurumon or x-antibody in its name, including itself, and if you do add a card by this effect, trash 1 card. The best part is its inheritable provides battle protection for your Digimon once per turn by placing 2 cards from trash to the bottom of the deck. This lineup is insane that if your opening hand holds Gabumon X on turn 1, just Digivolve into it for 1 to pass the turn. Not to mention, this turns on your blue option cards immediately. For level 4s, you run a straight Garurumon engine. Honestly, I do not recommend anything outside of this list. This engine is insane. Starter Deck 16 Garurumon not only has an effect that when Digivolving draw 1 and trash 1, but its security effect allows you to play a Gabumon or Mat Ishida from hand or trash without paying cost. Meaning even if you think you have a dead tamer in hand, it could be a great fodder as you clear through the deck and hold on to your main Digimon pieces. Combo this with Garurumon X from EX5, and your engine further facilitates another 2-card dig and trash, while also again providing another layer of battle protection. For the last Garurumon, you can run any purple Garurumon. I chose the Starter Deck 6 one because it's not once per turn. Previously, I had been running a Ginkakumon promote, but against Anubismon, finding your Garurumon pieces and getting trash fodder is a lot better. For your level 5s, you run Starter Deck 16 Were Garurumon for its aggressive use, while also facilitating more cards to be drawn in trash. Your main goal is to fill your trash with as many 7-cost option cards while utilizing the Were Garurumon to chip away at your opponent's security. Were Garurumon X provides you that unsuspend and potential trashing of 2 more cards from hand for Beelstarmon. Again, you might adjust the ratios, but I strongly recommend these 2 cards in the lineup. This deck wouldn't be Beelstarmon without Beelstarmon herself. This Digimon has the ability to have its play cost reduced from the hand, by 1 for each Digimon with 3 Musketeers in its traits, or an option card with a play cost of 7 in the trash. Because of this, the only known floodgates that counter her are Psychmon, Solarmon, and Chikurimon, of which the main ones I foresee being run at Nationals is Psychmon. Red decks may prioritize Gatsumon for the Anubismon matchups, but at times you may find yourself playing her for 0 and her secondary effect returning a 7-cost option card from trash to hand, and then playing an option card with a cost of 7 without paying its cost. Do note that you must control a source for that option card's color requirements unless specified. Also, for my variant of the build, I run 1 copy of Metal Garurumon Ace. This Digimon can steal turns, but also helps facilitate the trash with more cards and also be utilized in conjunction with Were Garurumon X Unsuspend effect. This could lead to potentially not just 1 or 2 checks with Were Garurumon, but you could in theory go another 2 checks in combination with Were Garurumon X. Level 7 wise, this deck runs 2 Shine Greymon Ruin modes to the list as well. While true, you could split the list into 1 Ruin mode and 1 Death Xmon, Ruin mode's utility and control of the board can stop your opponent from doing much. It also provides some recovery. However, do be aware that if your level 6 Digimon is Metal Garurumon X, Ruin Mode's end of attack will delete the stack and cause you to lose 4 memory. Option card wise, you run a slew of 7-cost option cards and 1 Calling from Darkness to recycle any 2 purple Digimon. If your field is empty, you can still return cards when you play this card. But for options, I run 2 copies of Metal Storm from BT9. Remember how I mentioned you can at times get Beelstarmon down to 0 and check 4 checks if you had the right line? With Metal Storm and a blue source, you can bounce a level 6 or lower Digimon, then unsuspend one of your Digimon with Garurumon in its name. Because you use Beelstarmon's effect, this cost is effectively 0. If you have multiple Beelstarmons, all you need is 1 Metal Storm in the trash. The reason why I don't run 4 copies of this option is because it's not as generic as Kokaitis Breath. This option card can also help in the matchups where deletion effects triggering can be a problem. Fly Bullet, for example, can be used for the level 6 and lower Digimon as specific level targeting, while Rival's Barrage must be the highest level Digimon. Nailbone for multiple Digimon recursion, and Happy Bullet Showering for targeting all of my opponent's Digimon with the lowest DP. While true, I don't run Cobalt Schwarmer, I do want more reactive cards rather than adding it to my hand. Finally, Tamers in the form of 2 copies of BT6 Mat Ishida for when I promote a Digimon with Gabumon or Garurumon for that extra memory and card draw, and a single copy of BT16 Mat Ishida for a memory gain when I trash and fix myself to 3. You could run multiple copies, but remember, you can trash the cards if you want to hold on to other important Digivolution pieces, because your security Garurumons can play them back out for free, even if they're in trash. Strength and weakness wise, this deck has evolved to a point where the deck is less reliant on having Digimon that need to be deleted in order to draw and trash cards. No longer are you also dependent on cards like Sistermon Blanc for that trashing and drawing of cards. All of this is isolated into the Gabumon X and Garurumon engine that can effectively take you to a level 5 by simply having 2 memory and a blue Mat Ishida. However, its weakness does lie in its nature of having potentially bricky hands, and practicing helps you learn on which cards you should mulligan and which you can gamble with a little. Additional weaknesses include cards that can render your security option cards ineffective, though rarely any of these cards are played, and as previously mentioned, Floodgates. For combos, ideally you want a starting hand with at least 1 rookie. At times, I've even digivolved into a Gabumon X in the race for 1 memory if I'm going first to draw an extra card and have my colors for blue and purple ready to go. But let's rewind and say you had a starter deck 16 Gabumon in the raise and a blue Mat Ishida in play. When you promote, Gabumon will gain you a memory if your opponent has a Digimon in play. Mat Ishida will gain you a memory and draw a card. At 2 memory, you now go to 4 and can conduct a lot of drawing and trashing. By digivolving into Gabumon X for 0, you can now reveal the top 4 cards of your deck and add potentially 2 cards. If you added a single card, you can trash 1 7-cost option card in your hand. Digivolve into starter deck 16 Garurumon, and you have the ability to now draw 1 and trash 1 card. Trash another 7-cost option card. Garurumon X facilitates another 2-card draw and trash, meaning on your first promote out of the raise, you could have already reduced Beelstarmon's effect from 12 to 8. Attacking can now give you another draw 1, trash 1 twice, which will then reduce Beelstarmon from 8 to 6. Garurumon also gains you a memory, meaning you're not at 0 memory, but you're at 1. You have battle protection and can digivolve into Were Garurumon and stave off 2 attacks. Regardless, some of the best work you can do is if you have a blue tamer in play or Gabumon X in the back. Beelstarmon can now use blue option cards, and as mentioned before, once she gets cheap enough, you can get free unsuspense for your Garurumon named Digimon. Generally speaking, what are your thoughts on Garuru Star? After much testing, I think this deck is a great contender for a lot of the meta decks. And with that in mind, this is your only chance to really play it in a large event before the restrictions lock it away forever. But this just means another round of innovation. Let me know your thoughts on this deck, and I'll catch you next time. This is Digi-Panda, logging out.